What will you do instead? It was late on a February morning in 2018 at Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California. I was standing on a bare wooden platform behind the wall of a fake Truman balcony. And it was Bellamy Young who had just asked that question, or rather, her character, Mellie Grant. Emotions were running high. This would be the last scene of Scandal that Bellamy and I would share after arcing through 7 seasons of emotional complexity as our characters, Olivia Pope and Mellie Grant, journeyed from enemies to allies and then to partners and finally to friends. And in real life during that time, Bellamy and I had come to share a sense of sisterhood that neither of us could have predicted. In the earliest days of Scandal, Bellamy's character Mellie was only a small supporting role on the show. Bellamy was originally cast to be a day player. Day players are actors who are cast in a role in which their work can be completed in one day. In our pilot episode, which took in total 10 days to film, Bellamy had just 3 lines, one of which was simply to proclaim my character's nickname, Liv, as she welcomed me into a quiet corner of a pretend Camp David. By the end of the first season of Scandal, it was clear that Bellamy Young was a force to be reckoned with, and her character was a vital element in the magic alchemy that made Scandal a success. By the end of the series, Bellamy and our team of writers, led by Shonda Rhimes, our brilliant showrunner and titan of film and television, had transformed her character from the betrayed wife of a cheating president into the sitting president of the United States herself and a central character on Scandal. Today's conversation on the balcony would be the last scene Bellamy would ever film during the life of our show, and it would be the last scene our entire production crew ever shot on our version of the Truman balcony. Not all our time working on the Truman balcony had been fun. The scenes filmed there were some of our toughest and most time-consuming to complete. The entire exterior landscape outside the White House was created with advanced CGI technology, which meant that our construction of the balcony and the platforms surrounding it were enveloped in walls of blue screen that ran 20 feet high and 150 feet wide. What replaced those blue screens in post-production were images called plates, which had been taken from the actual White House balcony. This had never been done before. Many shows and films had created what they imagined to be the view from the balcony, but Scandal had been able to film actual footage from the balcony and then use those images. This remarkable access had been possible because of Shonda's strong relationship with the Obamas, and permission to film these plates had been granted when she'd paid a visit to the residence. Most times when I stared out into the blue screen as I was doing that morning, I thought of my own time on the real Truman balcony. Years before, following a photo shoot for a shared cover of Glamour magazine with Michelle Obama and Sarah Jessica Parker, the First Lady invited us for lunch just inside the balcony. At that lunch, in that secluded haven, we'd spent time reflecting on the loss of anonymity and privacy, neither mine nor Sarah's as dramatic as the First Lady's. And I witnessed Michelle Obama's reverence for this little patch of elevated outdoor space that allowed her some sense of freedom within her cloistered existence. Now, as I prepared to complete this final scene with Bellamy, I thought about all the amazing places that my political life, both real and imaginary, had taken me. In the years leading up to this scene, the pretend balcony had witnessed Olivia Pope in love, in anger, in pain, in joy, wielding power, feeling powerless. But this was the end. After we finished this scene, the entire Truman balcony set would be ripped apart and destroyed. And although I knew that this set, these characters, and these circumstances in the script were not real, I discovered so much about this moment that felt like truth.